Hi, I'm Lance Goetz, and today we're going to talk about Epicenter, the Epiq intranet LMD pages. So, start off with an executive summary. 2015, there's more content updates slated for the Epicenter LMD pages than any year prior. The issue there is the structure, tone, branding, and quality of the site and subpages are inconsistent. The intended audience of the LMD pages is unclear, and there's lack of content clarity in terms of that audience, and that reduces the site effectiveness and costs the company money. So let's talk about the site evaluation I performed. Recently I did this Epicenter site evaluation, and there are structural, systemic inefficiencies and inconsistencies. There are system functions that are not transparent enough to the intended audiences. So our problem statement there is, in its current state, the Epiq intranet suffers from productivity issues due to lack of clarity, learner disorientation, and user abandonment. So the business rationale of the changes I'm going to recommend are the additional time that learners take while on the site costs production time and money. The poor coherency of the site results in a high volume of site abandonment, and quality content is ignored. And the site and its maintenance is a sunk cost. However, if the site is not used effectively due to its implementation and its poor quality, it becomes a wasted sunk cost, and we don't want to accept that. So let's talk about the specific issues uncovered through the evaluation. The site effectiveness is overall diminished due to the following. The intended audience for the pages is unclear. The pages and subpages attempt to do too many things for too many audiences. The governance process and ownership lack structure, and, well, in general, there's no ownership whatsoever, and we need to change that. There's also a global inconsistency of documents in terms of writing style and branding quality. So let's talk about the importance of those issues in their rank. Overall, I see the most important thing is the intended audience for the pages is unclear. Almost equal to that is that the governance process and ownership has no structure, and there's nothing in place to really support that. The inconsistency of the documents, writing style, and branding is also important. And lastly, the pages and subpages just attempt to do too many things, and it creates a poor signal-to-noise ratio for the user. So recommendations. I want to break the pages into segmented groups by audience and related audience tasks. I want to restructure the homepage content for more at-a-glance use. I want to incorporate consistent writing style and brand standards across the site. And I want to incorporate government's roles, process, and ownership committee to take control over that process. So let's talk about challenges with that. So anytime we're talking about integrating some change and going with new processes, the change in philosophy can have some issues in terms of integration and resistance to how things have always been done. New processes may be resisted, and it could create short-term additional work. I'm aware of all of these potential challenges, but I think if we keep hammering home the return on investment and what that means, and a higher quality product, bolstering that return on investment, and advocate for that, I think we'll get the traction that we need. So let's talk about next steps. So what I need to do first and foremost is engage the line of business leaders to identify candidates for the governance group, determine what stays and where and who's in that group. We need to develop content upload, review, and maintenance agreement so that the governance has structure behind it. I want to deliver content development standards to relevant business leaders so we can schedule integration sessions with key teams. And I want to create a working prototype of a finalized homepage. So let's wrap up. So the Epicenter intranet has significant issues that are costing Epiq money, internal credibility, and associate task efficiency. The volume of the content delivered means that as you amplify that across 1,100 people over the course of a year, it can be a pretty large sum of money in terms of lost efficiencies and productivity. The good news is the issues are identified through the analysis I've done, and the issues are relatively easy to address. And I think the important thing there is the return on investment is noteworthy when compared to the development and cost commitment. So I thank everyone for your time. If you want to look at the PowerPoint or review the YouTube video, I'll have all of that in the deck, and thanks again.